you support your mind, body, and emotions. So what got me started was I had really, really bad fatigue. Like I would come home and I'd go upstairs to take a nap and I couldn't make it to the top of the steps because I was just too tired. I would like just say, all right, I'm just going to take a nap here on the steps. So I started to look into why that is, because the medical tests all came back fine. And the doctor said, you're fine, nothing wrong with you medically. And I was like, I don't feel fine. So that's when I started doing the reducing toxins and all of that. And I got into, a friend of mine was getting her aromatherapy certification, and she needed somebody to be a guinea pig. And I said, sure, why not? And she introduced me to essential oils, and I realized, hi, Margot. I realized the tremendous emotional support that they offered. And it kind of blew my mind, because as I started healing emotionally from a lot of things, I started to get more energy. So in addition to reducing the toxins and eating good food and organic food, so my gut started to feel better. I started to heal. But I think a lot of it had to do with emotions, because I held a lot in my gut and I stuffed my feelings down, right? We know how that is. And so I just would stuff it all down and plow on through, and just stuff it down and plow on through. And the doctors had told me years ago, if you don't learn how to address your emotions, then you're going to implode, is basically what they were trying to say. And that's exactly what had started to happen, was the accumulation of that cortisol and the whole science behind it, the anatomy and anatomy and you know what it is.
Physiology.
Thank you, Kathy. So that was just amazing to me. And then this past year, so I'm like, I went on a backpacking trip. So I'm 56. And 3 years ago, I went on a backpacking trip, 4 days, 3 nights along the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. That was like my dream. So we were hiking, we were backpacking, we were camping, we were doing things I didn't have the energy for at all in my 40s. And I'm doing these things in my 50s. So it was like amazing to me. And so this past year, now I discovered Aroma Freedom technique. Now I had gone to some group sessions like the past 2-3 years, but I had a one-on-one session with a practitioner back in January. So I had this thing happen in my life, and I was like, I knew I was in the middle of a severe trauma trigger here, because I was very familiar with them. And so I had the one-on-one with the practitioner, and I was like, this is amazing. I got to get my certification, and I got to bring this everywhere. Everybody's got to know about this. So that's why I got my Aroma Freedom certification. And it has been amazing, because those memories get locked in our brain. They spin around, and they build up the physical toxins, the mental toxins, the emotional toxins, and we just get so stuck. And to know how, again, the anatomy and physiology works of how memories are formed, the neurons and all of that, the neuroscience of the brain is just amazing. And our sense of smell is unique because we have our five senses. So sight, sound, touch, and taste, the brain could say, I'm going to set that aside. I don't want to address that now. I want to hold on to this emotion, this memory, this negative feeling. But with our sense of smell, it's unique. And our brain, that part of our brain that processes our emotions and our memories, can only do one thing at a time. So it's holding on to this memory, it's holding on to this emotion. We activate that in the brain, and then we throw in the essential oil or even our sense of smell. I've had good success with peppermint tea bag, cinnamon stick. There was somebody I knew in South Africa a couple of weeks ago. She called me at her wit's end. She was like, I don't know what to do. I says, all right, do you have a peppermint tea bag? She's like, yeah, why? So I walked her through a mini session that we're going to do like later on, the little mini boost. And she was like, what just happened? Because I feel so much better. And I was like, my heart feels so full when things like that happen. It was pretty amazing. So So that's why I went and got my Aroma Freedom certification. And now I do that one-on-one. I do that in small groups, groups of 4 to 6 or groups of 8 to 12 when people want to like get a bunch of their friends together and split the cost of a session. And I use it in coaching too now. So really, really good. So that is my story, my journey. And Tashina, would you like to share your journey?
Absolutely. I got basically to my early 30s and started to have normal things happen to me that everyone else was having. I'm in the automotive industry, and so it's extremely high stress. And it seemed like everyone that got to that age either had high blood pressure or high cholesterol. But then I started to have issue after issue after issue. So 6 months after I developed high blood pressure, I then had started to have gut issues. So I was in and out of, for an entire summer, I was in and out of the emergency room due to my gut issues, and I would have like pains all the way up to the point that I was actually screaming a lot of the times. And it turned out that I developed a new allergy. And so then I was on a new medication for that. And then 6 months later, I started to have hormone issues. I ended up with fibroids, and I was bleeding 25 days out of the month. I had tons of emotional issues due to it. And then in that period, while I was the 2 years that I was dealing with the fibroids and all the effects of that, I was in two
Yeah.
accidents in a 6 month period. And so I had a whole bunch of body pain. So I was on, by that time, I had already had certain ailments. I suffer from migraines all the time. I had allergies. I had asthma, and those things were just normal. And I was always told that I needed to just deal with those things, right? Like I wasn't even looking for relief with those. But I got to the end of 2014, and I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And everyone that I talked to in their 30s all had hormone issues. Most of them had gut issues, and most of them were having pain. And a lot of them had body parts taken out of. And I'm like, I think Jehovah put those in for a reason. Like I don't think they're supposed to come out. I don't think that's the right way to do it. So I was looking for natural ways to support my health and wellness, in particular my hormones, and to have less pain and get rid of migraines and things of that nature. And so I started Googling my way to good health, and I found a bunch of tinctures that were so disgusting, and vitamins on Amazon, and a couple of essential oils on Vitamin World and Vitamin Shop, and nothing really helped me. And at the same time, I had a few friends that were talking about, I'm diffusing lavender and it smells amazing. And I was like, whatever, they're just trying to sell me something. But I ended up going to a home party that a friend had that I just wanted to go to support her, because she was in one of my old congregations. I hadn't seen her in a while, with the intention of not buying essential oils because I didn't know anything about them or what they did. And Panaway was placed on my body for attention that I had, and my life was radically and drastically changed. And then I got to know about them and the effects on our body. And I had so many physical things that I was working on at the time. And so a couple weeks later, I was introduced to our supplement line through our liquid red juice that we had. That completely changed all of my mineral levels. And then a couple weeks later, I also started using what we call our Happy Day protocol, which has joy and a few other blends. And it had an amazing effect on my emotions, which I needed a lot of help on at that time. And throughout this period, I have went through an unexpected divorce. I almost lost my house and was homeless. I've had at least 3 major deaths, including both of my grandfathers within a month. And there's been plenty of times where I had thought, a little bit prior to when I was introduced to the essential oils, I'm probably going to have to go back in therapy, because I had an extremely traumatic childhood. I was severely abused in every single way. I would not wish my childhood on anyone. And so I have lots of trauma triggers because of that. And recently, I've had opportunities to work through some of those trauma issues with D, and that has been such a game changer. And even with me using essential oils on a daily basis for 5 years, I realize I still don't use them enough, especially just when you're changing. Just I'm at my job, and now I need to go out and fill service, or just to reset your mind, or just um you're on a Zoom and people start talking about one of those issues and you're on the other side of the issue and you feel yourself getting heated. Like, there's so many ways that we can use it, and we have a wonderful article about our sense of smell that explains exactly why it works that way. I love the note in it that your sense of smell is literally the most direct way to the outside world and how it affects your emotions and memories. And so I've always been extremely passionate about the plants that Jehovah has given us and the herbs and all the things that we use, especially for physical things. But last year, when we went into what we're in now as an extreme extrovert, I didn't understand. I still had a lot of deep seated trauma that was brought up by me just being alone and having to think about things. And I'm 100% more passionate now about the emotional side and using them on an everyday basis to balance your emotions, and then making sure that you work with a practitioner when necessary to work through trauma issues.
That's amazing, Tashina. You have really traveled a long, long journey, physically, emotionally, everything. So thank you so much for sharing that. So welcome, Shantae. And Laura joined us along the way. So amazing. So, and Tashina, we've used the oils too during some of our coaching sessions that you've done. And that coaching sessions that we had together really helped me. And I appreciate the in-depth, because what I liked about your coaching is that it focuses on the strengths. So typically you take these personality profiles, you do these tests, and it's all like, okay, well, you've got these good things and then you've
Oh,
got these bad things. So let's focus on those and fix those. And it's like, all right, thanks. But the way Tashina coaches, she's like, oh, so you got these strengths? Let's increase those. And I'm like, oh, that feels good. So I really like that.
yeah. So, just like you, after I learned all of the things, and I'm like, let me get some certifications. So, I'm certified in holistic health, herbal health, hydration and nutrition, and mindfulness. And then I'm a self-development coach. And so what I do is, using the framework of mindfulness, which mindfulness is the quality and state of being conscious or aware of something, and a mental state of having achieved the notice that you're in your present moment. And so we tend to not do that a lot. We have to get ourselves in a state of mind where we are accepting our feelings and thoughts and what's happening in our body, because we're usually going so much. And so I use that mindfulness. I bring people's stories from their memories, put them all together, and help them with a particular personality profile, strength finders, in order to help them achieve additional goals. And so the benefits of just mindfulness in general, and again, using the oils with it makes it so much stronger, is stress reduction, and you reduce the rumination that you usually have going on, and decrease negative effects. Just like Dee was stating, when she started healing her emotions, she also got more energy and physical. And Dee, I'm still completely dumbfounded that now that I've done the aroma freedom technique several times, that I wake up before my alarm every single day, because it's different times some days, and I don't understand the science behind that,
Yeah.
but I wake up before my alarm every single day after doing those sessions. It's amazing to
Yeah.
me.
Well,
So
because the purpose of our sleep is to process emotions and memories. And when it's cleared, the brain isn't like always trying to make us go to sleep so it could process the stuff, because the stuff is processed.
yeah, so increased focus, more cognitive flexibility, improved working memory. So those are the reasons to use the aromatherapy with those. And so again, I'm a self-development coach, and this is where you gradually try to increase your abilities And there's a lot of things that you can do on the conscious level. Like if you think about a personal trainer, right? That's a type of physical development. So you're trying to get fit and healthy. What I do in particular is help you acquire more skills for success, and things like doing a deeper level of commitment, goal setting. I've done for years in an automotive setting, and I have coached individuals that were higher levels in my automotive company than me, individuals that were older than me, and I've coached a group of Gen Zers, so the individuals that were in their 20s that were starting their careers. And it helps increase your self-esteem, positivity, helps you with goal setting and hitting a lot of your career goals. So, and just a little more on why you need a coach, because you can do some of the Roma techniques on your own, and I do them on my own on a regular basis because that's important. And you could just buy the book Strength Finders as well. But the thing is there's a lot of times where we actually have blind spots, and so we don't even know what to focus on or where to go without the aid of a coach. Having a coach is going to help you just have so much more clarity and focus. And then again, as we've mentioned several times, when you use essential oils, at the end of the day, like I have different packages where you use 3 sessions up to 12 sessions, and you can do all the goal setting and all the things. But at the very least, what I try to get people to do is to have a power statement. And when you use the oils with that, it just brings you so much more clarity, so much more focus. It's touching your emotions, and it's something that really changes your life. I did it myself in a group coaching session, and I was just like, this is amazing, and people need to do this. Because even at work, we had did the strength finders, and people still focused on their weaknesses. Like we put the chart up on the wall, and everybody in my group just looked and said, oh, I don't have any relationship ones. Oh, I don't have any that one. I was like, that's not how you use it. So I help people take the data and actually use it in the way that it was designed. And like, Dee, how did you feel after you created your power statement?
Oh, it's huge because it's like, yes, yes, yes. I kind of like sort of knew these things about me, but it was like really hard to put in words. And then when you drilled it down and you were asking me for examples, it really made a difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So basically what I do with my coaching is work a lot on the conscious level in order for you to be more positive and have more success and set your goals, and couple it with essential oils so that it's better. And D works on the unconscious level to help you work through things.
yeah. Yeah. So our brain is really, really clever at hiding things from us, and it'll bury it in the subconscious. And I kind of say it's like a computer virus or malware. It sits there running its little, sabotaging, and we try to do the thing and we self-sabotage, and then we're wondering, well, why can't we do the thing? It's so simple. Well, because we got this little thing spinning around in our brain causing chaos. But I like what you were saying, Tashina, about mindfulness. And that would be like one big tip that I like to leave people with too. And then we're going to do an aroma boost. So grab some essential oils, or if you're just experimenting with your sense of smell, that's fine too. But so what you said about mindfulness, one of the things that helped me with digestion was before I would eat, I would just take some nice deep breaths. And if I had oils with me, ideally, I used to wear um, one of those little necklaces that you could put the oils in. And I would just be like, kind of discreetly sniffing away at my oils. And so then if you could just, before you eat, or if you start to feel that stress, just tune into your body and just take some nice deep breaths. And that helps so much, because the nutritionist that I was seeing at the time, she was like, your whole body is in fight or flight mode during the morning just from being active. So you only have two modes. You have fight and flight and rest and digest. That's it. It's either on or off, so it's either one or the other. So if we're active and we're doing stuff, we're in fight or flight. That's not always a bad thing. I mean, we need to move, we need to fire our muscles. But then when we're going to rest and digest, if we're going to eat, just take that moment to take a deep breath. If you pray, then say a prayer, so just take that time just to refocus the mind. And like you were saying, Tashina, being mindful and aware. of our body and nurturing it. So,
And I have a video that I've done on intuitive eating as well as mindfulness on my YouTube channel. So I have over
ooh,
800 videos.
yes, you are very busy. All right. So did you want to do the aroma boost, Tashina?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So we will end with an aroma boost. If you have never experienced aroma freedom, this is a mini session. This doesn't involve clearing out the memories lying underneath the negative thoughts, but it does clear out the negative thoughts. So it's a great way to just get through your day and make that mind body emotion connection. All right. So take a nice deep breath. Just come into a quiet space in your head. And think of a situation that you currently find overwhelming, frustrating, or confusing. Notice the emotion or the feeling when you think of that situation. Do you feel sad, hopeless, lonely, maybe apprehensive, or irritated? We're looking for an emotion, not a judgment, not a condition. Now notice where in your body is responding to that emotion. Where do you feel it? Your head, your heart, your gut, or maybe your teeth are clenched a little bit or your shoulders feel tight. And finally, what's the negative thought or limiting belief that arises when you think of that situation? So now once we have all of that, whatever you're using today, put one drop in the palm of your hands, rub your hands together real slow, focus in on that situation, that emotion, that thought, and that body part. And just place your hands like a tent over your nose and mouth and take a nice deep breath. And breathe into that situation. And breathe into that emotion. And breathe into that body space. A nice deep breath into that negative thought. Nice deep belly breaths. Let the oils fill your lower lungs. As you breathe, just notice any ease you start to feel in your body and move if you need to move. Observe any shift to the emotion. And notice any changes to that negative thought or limiting belief. Just observe your view of the situation. Notice any changes to how you look in it. And observe any new thoughts, new ideas. Any inner wisdom, inner knowing. And as you start to feel complete, you can lower your hands or make mental note of anything you observed, any new ideas, any new thoughts. And our final step is to write down 1 or 2 action items that will help you flow through that situation with a bit more ease, something you can do right away, and check it off so that you can give your brain that little hit of happy, good, feel good hormones when you do the thing. So how do you feel? Anybody feel like unmuting and sharing? Kathy, are you trying to unmute?
Talking to me?
I saw your hand moving over the camera. I didn't know if you were trying to unmute or
Oh,
not.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I am
Oh,
enjoying
yeah.
feeling though that I have right now. I'm
Oh,
enjoying it.
good. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I do less of a pain than I did. So yeah,
Very
thanks.
good.
It's working. Yeah.
Very good.
Hmm.
How about you, Laura?
I think I'm feeling more positive. I told myself I can do this. Big challenge that I'm facing. I
Okay.
can do this.
So break it down into little tiny action steps, little tiny stepping stones, one or two things that you could do. That's all you need. And then as you do the thing, cross it out and add another thing. Or I used to like to do sticky notes. So put it on a sticky note because I would take it and crumple it up and I did the thing.
Yeah.
It does something to the brain. It really does.
So yeah, I had tension in my neck, and because as you guys can see, I'm having a running around day. So I did automotive work in the morning, and then I went to a holistic wellness training, and I did a session with Laura on my lunch, and then I did a class at 2, and this is my class at 5. So in my car because I'm mobile. So yeah, I was obviously after a 12-hour day because I woke up at 6 in order to exercise before my alarm went off. Yeah, so now I feel like a lot more relaxed and a lot less tension in my neck.
Great, great. Awesome. Marilyn, you're unmuted. Did you want to share anything?
Yeah, I think like in the stillness it kind of welled up for me and I got pretty emotional. I felt like a little like a tick on my neck and tension in my cheeks and actually in my core, like in my gut.
Yeah.
And as I was breathing, it kind of released and I felt like lighter, like I could breathe because the throat, it was like I couldn't swallow. It was hard to breathe. So and then I just wrote down let go um, of things you have no way of, you have no control over.
That's huge. That's great. I love it. Good. All right. Well, if you would like the little mini script, I could send you the mini script so that you can do this yourself. I made it, I rewrote it. So if you have the old script with just the words, I put pictures now and I made it pretty. So if you have the old script, I could send you the new script and it's also on the website. And then, oh, thank you. That's the
So
events. That's the,
yeah, what you said it's on your website? I'm on your
yeah, I
website
could
right
say,
now.
okay. So on the Aroma Freedom detail page at the very bottom,
Okay.
there's the link
Very
to the free script.
bottom.
Get your free mini guide, I think I called it.
And you
So,
said
and I
that
do,
you said the one that says Aroma Freedom AFT, that one?
yeah, and then there's at the bottom of that, there's how does Aroma Freedom work?
Uh-huh.
And then at the bottom of that one is where the mini
Okay.
guide is.
Got it.
So you can, yeah, and then that'll automatically send you the mini guide. Hey, Shantae, go ahead and unmute. Would you like to share?
Hey, hey, I'm in my
Hey,
garage.
hey.
Well,
Yay.
I got an update from this morning session, really.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we had a bunch of trash out in front of the mailbox, and I was going to be irritated again. I know, because I was irritated the first time. So I decided, well, since no one came through, who else is left? It's me. So I piled up all the trash in my car, and I went to the dump. The dump's not that far from it, but it's usually like $16 or so. They let me in for free.
Ah,
I read my trash, and that helps me continue to clean up the garage. Yay! That's all I want to
yeah.
say. Thank you for letting me share.
That is a
Awesome.
blessing on your effort. That is
Yeah.
blessing on your effort.
In addition to the
Blessings.
money you've been finding in the garage.
I found $15 more yesterday, and so I'm continuing my.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Ah,
Thank
So
you.
I wanted to let everybody know I also have a mindful movement class that I'm have coming up on May 11th, and that's the Facebook event that I put in there. So
oh, okay.
we will start with a little bit of aromatherapy and just a little bit of stretching, and then a little bit of touch therapy as well. So should be
Ooh,
it's at 8:30 in the evening, so it should be super relaxing to help you go to sleep. Well, as well as clear some negative thoughts.
On what date?
May 11th. So if you click that Facebook link,
that's in the chat. Yeah.
yeah, in the chat, we got both of the offers.
What time zone is that?
I'm in Eastern Standard.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, I did an AFT just before I went to bed the other night, and I have not slept that well or woke up with more energy in the morning. It was absolutely amazing. I've never finished an AFT session and then went right to bed. That was the first time ever. It was just incredible.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a journey. So very good. Well, we want to be aware of your time. We said a half hour. So if you have questions and you need to follow up, please do contact me or Tashina directly. And I already marked myself interested in the event that Tashina is having. And go ahead and grab the link um, for the script so that you can get the little mini guide and do that yourself. 45 minutes. Very good. For the mindful movement is about 45 minutes. Good.
Yeah, and
And
we'll send a follow-up email with all of the links as well and information. Yeah.
oh, that's a good
So
idea.
Dee, can you send me the script?
Yes, I could do that. It's also in the chat. The link is in the
I
chat.
can send, if you're on your phone, Laura, I can send it to you because
Yeah.
I can just pull up
Okay.
Instagram. I'll send it to you.
So
Very good.
I've been doing therapy, but not for about a month. And I was just thinking about starting to take Zoloft again, but I don't want to. So if I follow